Hey there guys, Zach here for Windows Central and welcome back to another video. Now today we're taking a look at the Windows 10 Creators Update. This is Microsoft's next major version of Windows 10 rolling out for all Windows 10 users for free in April. Now although the name implies this update is for creators, this update is for everybody. It packs not only creator features, but normal features you would expect to see in a normal Windows 10 update. So, as you can see here, we're starting with the setup process. I'm just installing Windows here. We'll skip ahead now. And this is the new out-of-box experience that you can expect to encounter when setting up a new Windows 10 Creators Update PC. It's entirely powered by Cortana, so you can use your voice to navigate through all of these setup screens. You don't have to use your voice, you can use your mouse and keyboard as normal if you like, but for this demo we will be using my voice, so let's take a look.
And I'm here to help. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do. You can use your voice or the keyboard along the way, and if you'd like me to stay quiet, just select the sound icon. If you need an assistive screen reader, press the Windows, Control, and Enter keys at the same time to enable narrator. Okay, enough intro. Let's dig in. Your region is set to United States. Is that right?
Yes.
Your keyboard is set to US. Want to stick with that?
Yep.
Do you also type with another keyboard layout?
No.
Next up, the legal stuff. In short, you have to accept to use Windows. You can decline, but then, no Windows. Do you accept?
Yes.
Now let's get you connected to a network. That way you can get updates, apps, and cat videos as soon as possible. How about the first one on the list? Want to use that one?
No.
Okay, how about this next one on the list?
Yep.
Now type your credentials.
So now I'm going to press next, I guess, to confirm. So some of the areas in the setup experience aren't voice activated. You'll see them, and also you can turn the voice activation on and off at any time by pressing this little icon down here. So if you want a device that doesn't support microphone, or if you just don't want to speak to your PC, you can press the microphone icon down here and it will disable it for you.
All right, you're connected. Now we'll check for any updates.
Now this part will likely take a few minutes as it's now talking with Microsoft's own servers to see if there's any updates. Or maybe it won't take a few
Will
minutes.
you be signing into this PC using a personal account or one from your work or school?
Now, since this is a much more complicated sort of selection here, she won't ask you to use your voice. So I'm going to select personal one, which is what most of you will likely use as well. Then you press next. And then you get to sign in with your Microsoft account. Next.
Want to set up a PIN? It gives you stronger security than a password.
I would like to set up a PIN. Thank you very much. So give us a PIN here.
Would you like to automatically save your files and photos to OneDrive?
Yes.
Hey, look, it's the me part of setup. Can I have permission to use the info I need to do my best work?
Yes.
These are the settings Microsoft recommends. Go ahead and review them and select accept when you're ready.
So again, this is another part in which you will, have to use your mouse. So I press accept there.
Okay, that's the last step. We need to get a few more things polished up for you, and Windows will be all yours. Looking forward to helping out.
And that's the new setup experience. Now there's a lot more in the creators update, which we're going to walk through now. Once the setup is done, you'll be taken to your desktop, much like you would expect, and then we can get started. So the first noteworthy changes are with the start menu. On the surface, the start menu looks the same, it feels the same, but there are some new functionalities that the start menu now has. For example, I can now create live folders, much like on Windows Phone. So all I have to do is drag one tile over another tile and drop it on top of it, and there you go, a folder has now been created. You can see there's two icons for the apps that are in there, and if I select it, it will drop out into the folder here, and I can now launch either of those apps just by tapping on them. Very nice indeed. I can actually resize these folders as well to whatever I want, so I can have a large folder or I can have a wide one, which fits perfectly in there. So very nice addition to the start menu, allows you to customize it a lot more. The other noteworthy change is with the apps list. More specifically, you can now get rid of it entirely. So I just got rid of it there. You can see the apps list is no longer present on the start menu, and I can make my start menu experience a lot more like a Windows Phone now. So now I can access the apps list separately, which is great for those of you who like their tiles to be front and center and the apps list to be second. I know I do, so for the remainder of this video, we'll keep it like this. But yes, that's the apps list and the new start menu improvements. Moving on to Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge has a number of new improvements. One of the biggest features is a feature called Set Tabs Aside, which is a great feature for people like students who are at 1 minute writing a report and the next minute procrastinating on Netflix. So for example, if I'm doing a report, so I'll probably have Wikipedia open. If I'm doing a report about space, I'd likely have NASA open and probably Bing. Maybe not, but oh well, let's type in space and see what comes up. So yes, I'm doing my report, I'm writing and researching and whatnot, but then I decide I'm done doing my work and I'd rather watch Netflix. Instead of bookmarking all of these tabs or saving them or minimizing the screen, all I have to do is press this button here and it will close that entire browsing session and save it for later. Now I can launch Netflix. Swift, easy, just ready to go. Look, Netflix is already there. It's almost as if I wasn't doing a report 5 seconds earlier. But of course, once you're done doing your Netflix binge, you will have to go back to writing your report. So to get there, you just press this button and you'll see all of the tabs you set aside, and you can launch an individual one, or you can restore the entire browsing session. And as you can see there, Wikipedia is back, as is NASA and my space Bing search. Very nice indeed. So this is great for those of you who are often doing loads of different things in a browser, but would like to have one web browser rather than several open at the same time. So I can have several browsing sessions saved in here. That's one of them. I can also launch Windows Central and think of another one. Let's launch Windows Central and Amazon, why not? And then I can save this session for later as well, and that will save as a separate session above the one that my report is in. So very nice indeed. You can also do this. You can add tabs to favorites or share tabs. What does that do? Oh, and there's also a new share UI. This is the new share UI. I can now email those tabs to my friends if I really wanted to, which is fantastic. And then, of course, if you want to get rid of a browsing session completely, just press remove these tabs and it will go away. Now, there's another new change as well. Let's actually restore this browsing session. There's another new change to the tabs themselves. There's now this sort of preview button, which if I press will give me an image preview of the browser, of the web pages I have open, which is nice. So if you forgot what a web page looks like without wanting to switch to it, you can now press that and it will give you a preview, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, if we jump into settings here, you'll see that basically not much has changed. A lot of under the hood improvements makes Microsoft Edge a lot more stable in this field. It's actually a little bit faster than Chrome, according to Microsoft now. So a nice update for Microsoft Edge users indeed, one that I will be very excited about because I actually use Microsoft Edge, surprisingly. But yes, Microsoft Edge, lots of new features there. Also, there's a new share icon, which is nice. So let's close Edge and move on to Cortana. Now there's a new feature in Cortana called Pick Up Where I Left Off. Now what this basically allows you to do is sync sort of sessions across devices. So if you have multiple Windows 10 PCs and you're doing some browsing on one PC, then you leave that PC, log on to this PC that's logged into the same Microsoft account, you'll see that Cortana will have listed all the things you were doing on that PC. So as you can see here, I was looking at Wikipedia on the other PC, I was looking to download Slack on the other PC, and I had a few other things open as well. I had the NASA webpage open, I had Windows Central open, I had Bing open, and I also had Calendar, which was an app, open. I also had weather open and a bunch of other things. So I can now just quickly select that here and it will open up that app and bring me to exactly where I was on that app on the other PC, which is very nice indeed. This is excellent for things like Word. When you're writing a report, then you leave that report on that PC, come home, log into your other PC, and then you can pick up in that document exactly where you left off. Hence the name pick up where you left off, which is very nice indeed. You can turn this off if you really want to. It's an option in here just to press turn off and it will go away. But it's a fantastic addition to the Creators Update that I'm sure many people will take advantage of. Now, the other noteworthy changes is that Cortana can now activate system functions with voice. So before, if you ask Cortana to lock the PC, she wouldn't do it because she didn't know how to do it. But now if I ask her to turn the Wi-Fi off or lock the PC, she will actually do it. So let's demo that now. Lock my PC.
Locking your computer.
And as you can see there, she just locked the PC, much like you would expect. Now, whilst we're here, this is probably a good time to mention Windows Hello has been improved upon dramatically with the Creators Update. If you own a Windows Hello PC with facial recognition or even fingerprint or whatever, it's a lot faster now. So I'm about to move my hand out of the way of my webcam here and I will basically log in instantly. Ready? Removed. And I'm ready to go. As you see, I can now press the enter button and it will log me straight in just like that. So Windows Hello, incredibly fast with the Creators Update. Really impressive. Now, moving right along, the Settings app has received a number of new changes and improvements. First and foremost, lots of things have been moved around. So settings are categorized more appropriately now. There's less in the system area and more spread out across devices and personalization and apps and whatnot, which makes sense. So if you want an app feature, you can just jump into the apps area here and you will likely find it where you would expect. Whereas things like power will be in the system area. Very nice indeed. But apart from that, a lot of things have just been sort of tweaked and redesigned. For example, in the display area here, you'll see that the scale and layout option is no longer a slider, but rather a drop-down menu, which makes much more sense. Oh, I did actually just change that, which is not what I wanted. Now, there's also a new feature called Night Light, which when on, will dim your screen slightly to help with your eyes. So, if you don't know, screens emit a blue light, which can keep your brain awake late at night, which isn't good. So, if you're working on PCs at night time and you jump off your PC straight into bed, your brain has trouble shutting down because you've been staring at a blue light for the last 3 hours. This feature helps with that by dimming your screen and giving it more of a warmish color. Now, you can schedule this to come on at certain times, as this one is here, or I can set my own hours. And you can also adjust the temperature as well. Now, there you can see it, which is very nice. So you see how now it's very red, or it's here, which is barely noticeable, and then that's just not noticeable at all. But yeah, this is very nice, and you can have this to come on at certain times, such as at sunset and sunrise and whatnot. Very nice indeed. I'm actually going to turn this off for now, because it will be annoying for you lot. I'll turn off now. There we go. Now it's off. But yeah, Night Light, another excellent feature in the Windows 10 Creators Update. There's also a new feature called Storage Sense, which essentially just deletes temporary files and things in your recycling bin every 30 days or so. This is off by default, but if you turn it on, your PC will automatically clean up, files that you likely don't need anymore, which is very nice indeed. So it keeps excellent for devices that have a low amount of storage, such as tablets with only 32 gigabytes, for example. Now, if you move right along to the personalization area, Microsoft has added and changed a lot of things in here as well. For example, you can now have a custom color for your accent, which is very nice indeed. You can have any color in the rainbow, which is incredibly awesome. If you scroll down here, you'll see that I can actually customize it even more if I really wanted to. So that's great, although I'm pretty sure most people will use the default colors here. Then also, again, some more just layout changes. No longer are these, switches like the transparency effect one up here. They are now to checkbox, which is nice, I guess. Now, if we move on to themes, is a new thing with the Windows 10 Creators Update, the area of settings at least. You can now download themes from the Windows Store, and these will change your background, color, sounds, and mouse cursor. So if I go to this link here, you'll see that I can now download a new theme. So if you're lazy and can't be bothered to design your own desktop, you can just download somebody else's. Hooray. So let's go to Community Showcase Cityscapes 2. This one is by Microsoft. If I download this, you'll see I get a preview of all of the wallpapers you can expect. And this will begin to download. And once that's downloaded, I just select launch. It will take me back to the settings app. And then I can select the new theme that I just downloaded. And this one changed my accent color and background. It didn't change sounds or mouse cursors, but themes can do that, which is very nice. But look, I now have beautiful cityscapes as my background, and I can now change the desktop background to whatever else is included. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm actually going to keep this one. This one's very nice indeed. Now, moving on back to the settings app, you'll see that we have a new gaming area, which we'll dive into a little more in a minute. But basically, Microsoft has built in a number of game enhancements to the creators updates. For example, there's a new game mode, which you can see here, which essentially just, when running a game, makes the system concentrate on that game rather than concentrating on things in the background. So the game should hopefully run better when game mode is on with the creators update. There's also a new feature called broadcasting, which if you hook up your Microsoft account to a Beam.Pro account, you can stream your games directly through Windows 10. We'll show you that in just a second. But there's also quite a few options here, such as use camera, change microphone volume and system volume, turn mic on when I broadcast, and change audio quality. There's a lot of changes here, which is actually very nice. Then there's game DVR, which has been a thing in Windows 10 for quite a while through the Xbox app. It now has a home in settings, as does the game bar, which is absolutely fantastic. We'll show you all of this in just a second. There's also a new apps area here, which allows you to change apps features and whatnot. You can now reset apps if they're not working for you. There's a reset button here, which is very nice. And there's also an option up here which will allow you to block apps from running from outside the Windows Store. Now, this is off by default, so you don't need to worry about this, but if you want added security, you can turn on this option here, which will disable apps that were downloaded from outside the store from running. So if you want to download Google Chrome, for example, with this feature on, it will not run unless it came from the Windows Store. So I can actually demo this here. I've just turned on the feature, and if I launch this app here, you'll see Windows says no, you can't run this app because it's not from the Windows Store. But if I turn that feature off, the app will run much like you would expect it to. So it's a security feature which is off by default. You can turn it on if you want to. I'm sure most of you won't, however. Now, you may also notice that there's a new sidebar, which is contextual depending on the option you're in. So it shows up everywhere. You can jump to this area here, but if I go to this area, for example, you'll see that I get an additional link which takes me to more power settings, which is very nice indeed. That shows up basically everywhere in the settings app. Oh, it's very contextual here, so there's lots more links here and whatnot. Very helpful for those of you who are looking for a certain older option, because these are basically linking to the old control panel. I lied, that one isn't. This one is though. So yes, it links to sort of other areas of settings within Windows, which is very nice. And while we're here, it's probably worth noting that the Bluetooth area has been updated and been given a slight redesign. You now press this to add, new Bluetooth devices and whatnot. Moving on to the update and security area, Microsoft has sort of redesigned this a little bit. You can see that there's now a nice icon, which is nice. And if we go into advanced options, there's now more options to pause updates. You can now temporarily pause updates from being installed on this device for up to 7 days. When updates resume, this device will need to get the latest update before it can be paused again. So if you don't like updates being installed over a certain amount of time, you can pause them for up to 7 days, which is very nice indeed. You can also choose how updates are installed or delivered. And if we go back here, you'll see that there's now active hours, which is already there, but you can now make active hours last 18 hours rather than, I believe it was 14 or 12 hours before, which is incredibly fancy. Now, there's a new troubleshoot area here as well, which will allow you to, figure out issues with your PC. So, for example, if you're experiencing blue screens, you select this, and you can run the troubleshooter, and Windows will try and see what the problem is and maybe fix it for you, which is fantastic. If you're having issues with Wi-Fi or program compatibility or power or whatever, you just select the option that you might be having issues with here, and it should attempt to try and fix it. If it can't fix it, then you're screwed. Or you just have to browse the web and find somebody else to fix it. I don't know. But yes, that's a very nice new addition. And that's basically it for the settings app. Now, moving right along, let's take a look at the Windows Store. There's a new area in the Windows Store called Books, and what this does is, give you books. There's now a bookstore in the Windows Store, basically, which is very nice indeed. You just select the book you want to read, you buy it, and then you read it within Microsoft Edge. You just press buy, then hit launch, and it will take you to Microsoft Edge, and Microsoft Edge can actually save these in this new book area that it has here. So very nice indeed. You can shop for books directly from Microsoft Edge and whatnot. Great if you're a reader. I'm not really much of a reader, so there you go. Take that as you will. Now, let's actually showcase the game mode stuff. If we launch a game here, Microsoft Solitaire, if you can call it a game, you see the Windows game bar is here, and if I press the Windows key and G, you'll see the options of all the gaming stuff. If I hit settings here, I can enable use game mode for this game, and now the system will, make sure all of the available resources are pointed towards the game so it runs as best as it possibly can. Now there's also the broadcast function, which if I close here, I don't think this is going to work since I don't have it set up. To start broadcasting, signing to Xbox Live. So you do need Xbox Live for this, of course, as do you need Xbox Live for most gaming things in Windows 10. So now hopefully, if I try that again, broadcast, I agree, loading. And now I can start broadcasting, and this will broadcast directly to my Beam.pro account, which was created when I hooked up to Xbox Live here. So I can now record the game window, or I can record the entire desktop, and I can change the camera position as well if I really want to. Camera on and microphone on if I want, which I think it will give me a little preview. It didn't. Oh, it did. There it is. So there's my little camera there. And then I can also turn my microphone on as well. Now, I'm not going to do this because nobody cares about my broadcast. But once you hit broadcast, you can just play your game and Beam will get out of the way for you, so which is very nice. But that's pretty much it for the improvements to the gaming stuff. Very nice indeed. So all of your games should run better with the Creators Update. Fantastic. Now, there's a new Paint app called Paint 3D. And this is basically the entire reason the update is called the Creators Update, because Microsoft built a new Paint app, and it's Paint 3D. The old Paint app is still here, so I know many of you were worried about that. Hey, you can still use the old Paint if you want. I know I will be. But the new Paint 3D app is here, and it looks pretty nice. So if we go to new here, we can start drawing. Now, this is a surface, so I have a pen here, and we can just draw, a face. Hi, that's me. Got some hair and a body. I'm not an artist, as you may be able to tell, but this is actually quite a nice app. You get different sort of pen tips here. Got a nice paintbrush, crayon, rubber. Yes, rub it all out. It's disgusting. Got a little pencil here and whatever else. If we go up here, you'll see that there's now objects, so I can have 3D models. It's just a person. Nice. Oh, it's giving me a little tutorial. Oh, I can turn you around. Yes, upside down you go. No, you can stand up. And I can change your your rotation and stuff. Oh, goodness me. What is going on? And then other stuff, yeah. So you can do lots of 3D stuff. Now, if I zoom in on this guy, I should be able to paint on him. Can I move over? No? Yes, let me move over. Maybe I should just move you. That might make more sense. Move. There we go. And now if I get a pencil out, or a pen, or a brush, I can, let's make a blue. He's already blue. Let's make him more blue. There we go. Now I painted him blue. And I give him a face. Let's give him a face. That's just nightmarish, don't you think? Fantastic. There's also shapes. I can have 2D shapes, much like you would expect. Please give me my 2D shape. And I'm going to also have 3D shapes, probably. I'll have stickers. Great. Let's give him a star. Yes, you're a star. Oh, I can put the face on him. Yes, amazing. Oh, I can make the star 3D as well, so I can actually do awesome things like that, which is very nice. There's also text, much like you would normally expect. Hi. Then there's whatever this is. Canvas, so I can change the size of the actual image. So let's make you larger. Makes more sense. Man, that is just a catastrophic image, don't you think? You can save that as your wallpaper if you like. And then there's also, different effects you can have. Nice. Oh, look at that. It's fancy. You can upload that on Instagram now. And then there's an entire community of Paint 3D people, which Microsoft have built into Windows 10 here, which, look, I can create a nickname. So let's call me Paint Man. Without the explanation. Check availability. Nice. That name is available, surprisingly. I am now known as Paint Man. I change my image. I'll be that dude with several eyes. Go. So here we are with the Remix 3D community, and I can now download things other people made. Probably far more things that people who are far more creative than me made. So if I click on this here, you'll see that I can likely download it. Yes, I can place in my own project. Flower block. Flowerbot loves you. So it's now downloading that creation that somebody else made, and I should be able to take advantage of it. And there it is in my creation. Wow, that's pretty cool. So I can flip him like I would normally, turn him around. Then I can stick a big star on him. Where is it? Give me the star. Yes, star robot. Fantastic. But yeah, that's basically the new Paint 3D app. And there's also a time machine, which is very nice. We can start again as if none of that happened. If we go over here, there's some options. I can publish my creation to Paint World if I want to, Remix 3D, sorry. Then there's also a bunch of settings, compact mode, which just makes the UI a lot smaller. Show perspective, show canvas, show welcome screen. Then there's also submit feedback if you want. You can share it with the new Windows Share UI, which is very nice indeed. And then, of course, you can save and save as, much like you would in a normal Paint app. Now, another new area in the Windows 10 Creators Update is Windows Defender. Microsoft has basically redesigned Windows Defender in its entirety, and it's pretty awesome. You see here I've now got, brief overviews of my security of my device. I can jump into here. I can run a quick scan if I really want to. I have an advanced scan here. I can see my protection updates and whatnot. This hamburger menu here should give me a bunch of options. I have family options here, app and browser control, device performance and health, and whatnot. I have the option to run a fresh start, which basically will reinstall Windows entirely for me if I'm having any issues, which is fantastic. But yes, a nice update for the Windows Defender app, which was pretty much needed with the Creators Update. So there you have it. So that's the Windows 10 Creators Update, which will be rolling out to all Windows 10 users for free in April. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.